Welcome Home Radio Podcast. Are you looking to buy or sell your home? Our team is here with answers to guide you through the buying and selling process. We encourage you to ask questions. Please comment on this show or visit us at welcomehomeradio.net for more information. Bringing real estate, lending, and education together in one place, and to help you make the right home decision for you and your family.
And welcome to Welcome Home Radio, where real estate, lending, and learning come together. It is August 13th. Unbelievable time, as well as triple digit here in Texas. We're loving our air conditioner right now. It's awesome. And want to welcome everybody. Tom, Jeff, Hector, great to have you, sir.
Good morning.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
We have been on your turn to ask, and I asked a very good friend of mine, Hector, to join us. He's a professional realtor, and he's got some questions he hears about all the time. We want to have that discussion. But Hector, just give us a quick over or bio on yourself, what you do and how long.
Sure, absolutely. I've been practicing real estate since 1999, so it's 26 years. Started out in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Wow.
And I was actually a broker owner there for 19 years. So I oversaw over 19 agents and even had a mortgage company at a point for a short period of time. Yep.
All right.
Okay, I'll come work for you.
Very interesting.
Then we relocated here in 2018. That's Dallas, Fort Worth area up in Plano. And I worked with Remax DFW Associates under Mark Wolf, and just loving Dallas.
Now, what brought you back from Albuquerque to here? What's the attraction besides Texas is great and big?
You know, Dallas, well, Texas is very family friendly, and I have two beautiful daughters and my wife, and we wanted to raise them in a place where we knew they'd be safe, where they're more likely to stay around, maybe, you know, when they grow up and have their own families, and want to make sure they had a good education, great opportunities. Unfortunately, New Mexico does not provide that. So we're here in Texas.
Good luck with that. I've got 3 daughters and 1 son, and none of them live close by. So, you know, I wish you luck on that one.
Yeah, good luck with them staying close. Yeah.
Well, they will have to live their own lives for sure, but I'm praying.
Tom, we understand why you and our kids don't want to stay close to us.
Yeah, we actually do. But
Hector's a nice guy.
I wasn't going to say that, but since you brought it up.
You quit bragging. You're keeping your daughter close by with a hook, line, and sinker.
I'm fortunate right now. Mine is close by, so yeah.
Well, Hector, we're in a series about your turn to ask, and you've got some questions I think are important because you see it from the field level. You see it from interacting with the client, whether it's listing or buying. So what are those questions you have for us?
So the first one is the question that I get hit with, is what should I buy now? Should I buy a home right now? And my answer to them typically is, well, what's going on? Are you looking to relocate? Are you needing to grow? Do you have a family? Or are you just looking to buy a house now? Are you an investor? What's your situation look like? Because if you're in a situation and say you have to move in 3 months, obviously buying now, and say out of market, for example, then buying now probably wouldn't be a good idea. But buying now because your family needs to grow, or you've got a job, your life is stable, it's time to move to the next step, then buy now. The biggest thing that I see people making right now, I see this right now so much because of the interest rates. And people think right now is not the time to buy. Right now is absolutely the time to buy. Interest rates are higher. So what? You got to move. The benefit you have right now is there's more inventory available. Sellers are willing to give more. That means you're not fighting for a house in a multiple offer situation, and you're going to get some things that favor your way. So buy now for sure. But that's in all times and markets, no matter the interest rate, buy now.
I agree with you. I mean, I would put it this way. For me and Jeff, this analogy fits perfectly. It's like waiting for the perfect time to buy a home is like waiting for the perfect golf shot.
Yep.
It's never going to happen.
Right. That's exactly right.
Let's play. Let's go ahead and play. We're not going to hit the perfect shot. We're not going to hit all the things, but you're exactly right. The inventory is very decent right now. And for every half a point interest rate getting better, you're going to see, 5 million more buyers jump in the market that you're going to be competing with. And why compete with them on price, on other things where you can have the opportunity to, like you said, strike the deal that's best for you as close as possible. And also for my ad, and I'm sure our wonderful Tom is going to have more to say on this, but for every month you wait, you're missing equity gains in a home. The average homeowner across America earned $140,000 over 5 years. That's across all the United States. Here in Texas, it's a little bit better than the average. And so you're missing out on equity where that higher rate, it's costing you, but again, the gains are so much more. So it is the good time. Plus, historically, back in the day when Tom used to close loans and sell caves and all of this, and deal, and when they went from rock to parchment, it was people questioned about changes, but the bottom line is the opportunity there for growth in that happens to be longevity, and it's better to not be paying rent money because rent goes out the way. You never get it returned. Buying into a home, paying down debt is an opportunity for your personal wealth to grow. So to me, the average interest rate across the years they've been tracking it is 7 3/4. We're better than 7 3/4 right now. So I Tom, what do you think? Is it a good time to buy?
Well, I think you just had a really great summary of the circumstances around when is it a good time to buy. It's always a good time to buy. But it just depends on your circumstances. Can you qualify? That's an important aspect. Are you getting a decent price for the house? This is a good time to really look at that number. We're seeing an overall decline in valuations in properties because rates have been perceptibly higher, but prices got out of control pretty much 3 and 5 years ago. And so the market corrects. Things that go up do come down, and markets with real estate are no different than any other financial market that's out there from that perspective. So, this is one of those things. If you're using a judicious measure of, what am I doing? Am I doing it correctly? Am I doing it properly? Those are things that come into play to make sure that you sold a property at a good price at a reasonable value to the buyer, and that you're going to be going forward with a good purchase. Now, you're buying houses, of course, not with the idea that you're buying them on an investment level. So keep that in mind as well. A lot of people get it confused that when they see a house for sale, this is a great investment. Houses that you live in are not investments. They're what we call money pits. And it's just simply
that was encouraging.
Yeah.
I was going to ask, does anybody else feel like they're in a classroom?
This comes from somebody who owns lots of property, so we need to qualify this.
There we go.
Sitting in a classroom right now. I mean, I want to take notes. I got a professor up front. I mean, Tom, it's a good time to buy.
It's a good time to buy.
Okay.
Yeah.
That settles the matter.
Hey, avoid that 100% interest rate in rent. Okay. That's my advice.
There you go. Now I haven't heard that, Hector. That is a good way to put that. 100% interest rate on rent.
Blair, I do want to just remind those listening that even if you think, it's going to be 3 months or 4 months before we're ready, the inventory right now is really strong, as you already mentioned. But go ahead. There's a lot of folks right now that have been using credit cards. Go ahead and call Blair. Let him do a pre-check, kind of check on status. Because if you get Hector and then you go to Blair and then you go, I've got some stuff I've got to clean up. So go ahead and start that process a little bit now. It's not a big deal, but it's a smart move so that when you're ready to pull the trigger and you hit that savings amount that you were ready to run with, you have everything in order. So
very good point, Jeff. That is all. Even if you're looking 6 months down, get pre-approved now, find out if there's any glitches.
Yep.
Got a young man right now I was just working with that it wants to do a refurb, whether it's a home style or a 203K FHA. But I looked at the area that he's going to do it, and his realtor looked at it as well and said, look, if you buy this home and you put the amount of money you're looking at, you're going to be the richest home there, and you're never going to get that money back out for a while because everything else has to grow up to it to be able to do it. Is this really what you want to do? And so it was really interesting talking to this veteran about that and getting an idea of where do I really want to invest and take my time, but take the initiative, get pre-approved now. So you do have those decisions or issues to overcome. Hector, you got another question for us?
Sure do. In regards to foundations, people ask me, do they need to be concerned about foundations here in Dallas? And my answer is yes, you do, but it's not the end of the world. So when it comes to foundations, they can cause some plumbing issues that can be resolved. Sometimes it's expensive, okay, especially if you have cast iron. But not all foundations are major problems, and they can be fixed. Now it's about getting the right professionals to help you out and make sure that foundation is done. With negotiations, typically we can get those things covered with the seller and have that foundation fixed. Over 60% of homes have foundation issues. So it's a very common problem. Either they already have or they will have a foundation problem at some point in time.
I'm going to try to answer this question a little bit differently. In Texas, our soil moves more than a toddler chasing a birthday cake. That's why we check the foundation. It isn't optional here. It's survival. The good news is foundation issues, like you said, are common. They're fixable for the most part. It's just you have to go through that step. And also understanding here, we water our homes, not just our yards. Yep. We don't water them that they're going to get bigger, like, they're not shrinking or anything, but we water them so the soil maintains. They don't dry out and shift and drop. So you have to be prepared, especially people coming from Arizona, California. Yep. This would be a unique thing, but the soil shrinking here and shifting happens if you don't water the foundation of your home. Foundation issues are a big deal, but it's a smart thing to manage. It's not as big of a deal as you think it is. With
our great black gumbo soil, we have to water just to dig a hole. We need water just to get a shovel in the ground. So yes, watering is necessary.
And even then, when you shovel, man, that mud just sticks to your shovel.
So welcome, come join us.
Right, absolutely.
Sounds like you have nice gardens.
Like me?
No, that's the point. The struggle sometimes to keep things looking nice. The reason I made that joke, I was trying to get a weed out of the yard. I was like, I got to get a shovel just to get this little weed up.
Well, as long as it's wet, it's easy to do. So pulling those weeds, but
But we do have. We have situations here in construction. I think it's generally a slab foundation, is it not? We don't have.
Pier beam.
We have some pier beam.
Yeah.
Like you have to be aware of what the home is on, and slab on grade foundation can be moved, and it does affect door jambs. It does affect foundational areas of a home, a certain room, a certain corner. So we do have to check, go through. But here's where a home inspection, even if it's a brand new home, even if it's newly built, get your home inspection in, looking for cracks. I loved it. One of the new buyers, first-time home buyers, brought in their grandfather because he was in construction, and every home they went into, he had his golf ball, and he put that golf ball right in the center, and he watched wherever it moved. That's no, you're not going to buy this home. This is not. And I'm like, wow, that's there's no home going to be that level. There's no green that's going to be.
Not all slabs are poured even, right? So that can be a problem. So there's some tricks that I've learned when it comes to foundations, walking with foundation engineers and foundation repair guys. And so I typically myself, when I walk through a house, when I'm showing a home, I'm actually looking for problems already. And I point those things out. Now, I always point out I'm not an actual foundation guy. I'm not an engineer, but it's just been the experience that I have that we need to look out for. But the biggest thing is, like I tell my clients, hey, we're going to have that general home inspection you were talking about, Blair. We're going to look for anything that can be a foundation issue, okay? And then we're going to go from there. Now, even in Texas, we're going to have some houses that just settle a little bit, right? So you're going to have a slight crack. You're going to have things that move, but it doesn't mean that there's a foundation problem, okay? So you got to look for what's a foundation problem, what's not. Talk to the inspector, then maybe bring in a foundation engineer to verify.
And then the final thing area that I have to learn in home ownership was that we need to control our drainage issues around our home. You need to control the flow of water, because when we get water, sometimes we really get a lot of water, and where it goes can impact your foundation. So that's why you need to make sure your gutters are clear. That's why you need to make sure things are flowing in the direction they're intended and not pooling or changing for that, because that can cause major issues in the home, under the base, under the foundation of the garage, wherever. So drainage issues, poor grading and guttering can cause foundation and red flags for your home. So, and if somebody has a foundation history, I mean, they have to disclose that. But what is that history and what is that warranty that they did? Did they do that work to that level? That's for anything, roofs, foundations, and whatnot. But that's just a common thing that, that makes common sense. So I think, no, do not worry about foundations. We have it. Like you said, 60% of the homes have it just due to our soil here, but it's how we learn to maintain our home.
And, the biggest thing about maintaining and watching out, one of the biggest indicators is you just want that soil tight up against the foundation. Typically, you'd want grass there. If you start seeing gaps there, or even the foundation showing, below the foundation, poor gutter systems, for example, those are indicators of a foundation problem. So other than big cracks in the brick and the splitting, that's where it's getting serious.
Hey, and if you close with this team when you buy your new property, we'll gift you some soaker hoses for your moving in gift. So
there you go.
Wow.
Way
to go, Jeff.
Himself. He's got soaker hoses.
Gotta have them.
Well, and I don't know how many states really know what a soaker hose is. I mean, we have drip.
It's a good point.
Drip hoses in working from Israel, where they created drip irrigation, but soaker hoses are intentional here in Texas to soak the foundation, and we probably do it twice a week at our house.
That's what mine are set for.
It was a learning curve for me coming from New Mexico, because it's all sand over there. You have some movement, but there's nothing like here. And if you have foundation issues, that's usually due to poor construction. So here, obviously it's the soil. So
yeah, it is the soil. So great question. Hopefully we've covered it. And so I believe you have a third and final.
I sure do. And how long does it take to close on your new home? So do you want me to start, Blair, or you want to?
Well,
Jeff will answer forever. But
okay. No, I can. There's the two things that change that. The question go one direction or another. Is it cash, or are you obtaining a loan? So that's the first two things about when you answer that question.
Well, I'm going to answer it this way. Buying a home, whether cash or loan financing, isn't like ordering Amazon Prime. It is not going to happen in 1 to 2 days.
That's right.
Cash may be 1 to 2 weeks. Now, national averages are different than what Cardinal does. My loan closer dates are averaging 21.7 days. So that's whether
strong.
FHA, conventional, we're closing. But again, it takes time for inspections, appraisals, title work, final loan approval. And this is based on if you're pre-approved. If you're starting from scratch, you've not been pre-approved, and you sign a contract, you're looking at 45 days if you're trying to get things done. But just like a barbecue, Jeff, you're a professional at this. Just like barbecue, it takes time. If you want a quick, chewy steak, yeah, you can throw it on there, skewer it, and go. it's going to take a little time.
Yeah.
And 21 to 22 days for us that's our average. And so that's about how I would answer it. This Amazon Prime quick satisfaction, folks, sorry, that's not the mortgage industry and that's not the real estate industry, because we're going into partnership with you. We're bringing more of the money than you are to the table in most cases. So we want to make sure things are correct.
I agree with you 100% there. And what I would say is it can take that 21 days if you're in a mortgage, 21 to 40 days. And cash, we can get that probably closed within probably 10 days, right, Jeff? 7 days, 3 days? What can we do, Jeff?
I've done them in 3. It's happened.
3 days,
And
okay.
Now, the biggest thing with that is no HOA, or something
Right.
of that nature we have to deal with. So
Right.
you can see you have all, like Tom said, it could go really deep, all the little caveats that happen. So I just have to tell everybody when they ask me that, okay, is there an HOA? That's the first question if you want a quick turn.
So that's what I was
How
going
many,
to
how, many,
ask.
how many areas of residential living in Texas are without an HOA? I mean, I think it's coming
Fewer and fewer.
Fewer, yeah. Most everything has HOA today, and people got to watch out for HOA. So we got to make sure that they're not currently being sued. We want to know their rules, right? Because if I can't put up my flag or if I can't paint my door, that's going to be an issue, right? So one of the things, I know I'm going off here, but if you're going to be part of an HOA, I always encourage the buyers, make sure you're part of that the HOA group. Make sure that you're involved, as you're going to the hearings, and when they're talking, maybe even get on the board. Be involved, because if you're not, someone else is.
And you first-time homeowners probably hearing this term HOA and you don't know what it is. Homeowners Association. This is designed for maintaining property value. They're making sure your neighbor doesn't paint their front door pink and yellow shutters and orange siding. And they're making sure they keep the redneck bathtubs with engines in them out of the front yard. That's what an HOA does. Would you agree with that?
I would. I guess I better get that tub out of the front yard.
Yeah. You NASCAR redneck. I tell you. Well, Tom, you're being awfully quiet since you're the educator. Are you actually teaching a class while you're doing our show with us?
Well, I'm just thinking that one of the things we're seeing very commonly in our language nowadays is POA. So I want people to also understand that POA is basically the same, is the same thing that is we're talking about HOA.
But what does the acronym stand for?
Property Owners Association.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Who comes up with this?
And that's used now in all the acronyms for realtors that are training and that lenders are training is POA. We don't see HOA used anymore.
What, did some legal term, court case, cause this to happen?
Well, Property Owners Association indicates, of course, that you are a property owner, so you don't necessarily, in these circumstances, own the house. You may just own the lot. So it's the result of legal cases, but it also clarifies for folks that are getting into ownership that am I owning a lot, and what are my rights as owning a lot versus owning a house in the same subdivision, same area that's affected by the POA. Usually you have the same voting rights as somebody that doesn't have a house.
Well, that's to include them, since you can have a home on top of a piece of property, but it not be attached to that property. Otherwise, it's called a mobile home.
Right.
That would be another situation as well.
Do you get the sense that Tom's an educator? I mean, do you get this classroom?
Once or twice. Once or twice.
Lawyerisms.
Yeah.
Tom, we need to work on your approachability. I'm very scared of you.
I know. I've become less and less approachable. Thank you very much.
Less and less patient with me. That's why I'm not in your class anymore. I'm scared of you.
You should be. You should be very scared.
Man, I hope there's no children watching this.
I think we got rid of them when we came on.
Yeah, we did. I did.
Assuredly.
Well, I think we've answered that question in reference to how long it takes, what it involves. Again, cash deals are always great in the reference to Jeff. He gets things done in quick time, but I've actually closed a loan in 10 days. So it's, if you're pre-approved and you're already situated, it doesn't take that long either.
That's why I mentioned that earlier. Start before you hit that final number of your savings that you have targeted.
But here, and along with this question, Hector, you have a better insight on it than I think any of us do. Along with that, you can negotiate the seller or the selling family. I want to stay in my home for 5 days to move out, or that sort of thing. How often does that happen to negotiate a leaseback situation from the sale of a home and allowing? How long can somebody stay? That what are the ramifications on insurance or different things for that? So talk a little bit about that if you could.
Yeah, from what I understand about insurance is they're not allowed to stay in the home longer than 60 days before it becomes an investment property. And I think isn't that a mortgage issue as well?
Yeah.
60 days, right? Yeah. But typically I don't find sellers need that kind of time frame. It ranges anywhere from 10 days to maybe 30 days is typically what's asked for, if it's asked for. We're not having as much of that request as we did, in 21 and 22. We had a lot more of that going on. Today, most likely a seller will be willing to pay back leaseback fee, where before they were getting that leaseback for free. So yeah, we just don't see that as often, but it still does happen.
And then on the inverse, as far as we're concerned, and again, we close even before we've already funded before you get to go with Jeff and sign documents, whether you sign at 8 in the morning or 4 in the afternoon, so that once you close, once you sign those documents, you're done. You can start moving in at that moment. There's not a delay. Now, Hector, you've been in the business 29 years. Unfortunately, Tom has a little bit more time in the real estate world than you do, 30 plus, and somewhere around BC, I think. But there was always a concern. We don't want to close anytime after noon, right? After noon on Friday, we're not going to close because it's going to take until Monday to get the keys. But funding for us, we're able to table fund the deal that morning, so you can move in that afternoon immediately upon. You can actually close, Jeff, correct me if I'm wrong, a purchase can be closed right in front of the home, and the trucks can start moving the minute the documents are signed. Are we correct?
Within some, now keep in mind, depending on if let's say your group, typically that you want to see that the closing documents have been executed and we're provided a funding number. But sometimes that's if we know they're signed, your team we're funded. You're good because you already have everything. The one exception, Blair, I would say to make with that, you are correct, except the one exception I would say is, and it's educating the sellers and making sure they understand, because there have been times at 4:30 in the afternoon, your team is given the green light, we're funded, everything's great, and we tell the buyers and they go to run moving in, and Mr. Seller says, whoa, I don't have my check, or I don't see money in my bank account yet. We're not funded. So technically, to all of us involved in the transaction, even though the seller's involved in the transaction, the deal's complete, but we have to educate that seller sometimes for them to understand it's done, even though their money's not in their hands. So there have been occasions where the seller says, nope, you're not getting keys until the money's in my account or check's in my hand. That is the one sometimes.
But I think if we're aware of those situations, we can work through them. I've done that with you. The only loan that I know that we could not close that way is a reverse mortgage for purchase. That's the only loan that has to be closed at an office, a lawyer's office, a lending office, or a title office to close that. But otherwise, it can be done quickly, and moving in can happen immediately. So you can get your weekend started by unloading boxes and making a terror on the neighborhood and garbage set up there. We stored boxes in our garage for almost a year before we cleared it out. So,
Was that next to that tub you were talking about earlier?
yeah, that's why the tub was out front. It couldn't fit in the garage.
Now it has cactus in it.
In my rock garden that are not allowed in Plano.
Somehow I believe that.
Okay.
You know what?
Go ahead. Go ahead, Hector.
Go ahead. You were going to say something. Go ahead, Blair.
Well, I was going to say something, but it was going to be very sarcastic. So go right
Oh,
ahead.
I want to hear it. Give it to us.
Well, I mean, these guys know me. I mean, I'll let our listening audience. I grew up here in Texas, but both of my sides of my family are from Arkansas, and we're a bunch of redneck hillbillies. Okay, I grew up driving a truck at 8 years old, hauling hay. Okay, I had a hardship license here in Texas at 15. Yes, we had the multiple cars parked next to it in Houston. You've got three of them down, and one of them works because all the parts go to the one that works. So, I'm sorry, that's just reality for me. Is yes, the general vehicle on the Dukes of Hazzard was real to me, and you always, that's what you wanted, and that's how you lived, and Daisy Dukes and all the rest. But so.
That's why he had all those cars. He was trying to make those jumps and didn't know why he wasn't making it.
Well, they made it.
Right.
It didn't land quite as smoothly as you like.
Right.
Yeah. Well, one of the things I just wanted to plug in really quick to any buyers, including sellers that are out there listening to this right now, just keep in mind that when you get a contract, there are multiple options or opportunities that are going to be negotiated. And just be aware of that. That's why it's important to have a good, strong team, both realtor, mortgage, and title, all involved to help out. So it's just all very important.
I want to make sure we give you time. 29 years of experience. Please tell us how our listeners can get a hold of you to ask questions or possibly.
Oh, absolutely. You can reach me direct on my cell phone, 469-580-2370. That number again, 469-580-2370. Of course, you can look me up. You can hit me on my email, hector@dfwhomefinders.net. That's with my team, DFW Home Finders. And I'm easily found on Google. So no problem. If you want to get me, you'll find me. I'm sorry?
Or on the golf course on Friday with me and Jeff. So
yes, exactly. Cursing at the ball.
I just don't know. Since you outdrove Jeff and I so much, I don't know if we can invite you back yet. We got to get our pride and ego in the way.
I don't know. I duffed the ball a couple times. I don't know.
Hey guys, remember, Welcome Home Radio is after CTC. Our motto here is get you to clear to close. Whether you're selling, whether you're buying, we want to educate you, help you understand, and make the right decisions in the largest purchase that 98.7% of you ever make in your life, which is your personal home. We're here to help. Your turn to ask. Get your questions sent to welcomehomeradio.net, and we'll get to them as soon as possible. God bless. Have a wonderful rest of your week.
Welcome Home Radio production provided by Lunatic Digital. Check the listen of this podcast for the links to our sponsors. And don't forget to like, share, and follow us on social media. Visit welcomehomeradio.net for more information. This was a Lunatic Digital production. Visit lunaticdigital.com for all your digital needs.